Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This week we are going to talk about all the books I read in February. Now, February was a struggle, okay? I have been in a major book slump since Harry Potter. And I had surgery on my toes, which took me out for a week. And so we only ended up reading 4 books in February. So, not my best month, not my worst. I could have done better, but February was a struggle. But we're on the other side now. I have some exciting releases that I'm really excited for in March, and so March will be better, but February was a struggle. So, we're just going to go over all the books that I read in February. The first book I finished in February was Shield of Sparrows by Devony Perry. Y'all, this book was so freaking good. It was insane. It was so different than anything I've ever read, and Devony Perry's literally one of my favorite authors, so I was gonna love it either way. But I don't know, it was so different, and I don't even know how to explain it. It might just be that I don't read a lot of fantasy, but I don't know, I just loved it so much. I gave it a 4.75 stars. And I am literally so freaking excited for the second book to come out. It comes out, I want to say April. I could very much be wrong about that. I will look it up and find out and put it at the bottom of the screen though, okay? But this book was so good. I loved the main characters and the relationships, and the plot was just crazy. I was hooked from the first chapter, and it was just so good. Yeah, it was so good. Definitely need to read it if you haven't read it yet. I can't wait for the second book. Phenomenal. Then the second book I read was The Briars by Sarah Crouch. I gave it 4.5 stars. I read this author's debut book last year. It was called Middle Tide, and I absolutely loved that book. And so I had high hopes for this one, and it was good, and I loved it, but it wasn't as good as her debut book. But I love the way she writes, her settings and atmospheres for the books. This one, they're murder mystery whodunit kind of things, and the other book I read by her was a little bit more heavy on the mystery than The Briars was. It was more character and plot driven. I mean, it still had a big mystery, but it wasn't super big. I don't know, the mystery was kind of weird. Something happened at the first of the book that they resolved and then kind of forgot and never talked about again till the rest of the book, and then it was just centered around some other mystery, and the ending of it I just found kind of I mean, I get the whole plot twist and wanting to surprise the reader, but the plot twist at the end, I was surprised, don't get me wrong, but I didn't like it. It was just, I don't know. But the atmosphere and the setting and the characters were just chef's kiss. I would read anything that Sarah Couch writes. I cannot wait for her next book. I will be reading it. I really liked this book. It was pretty good. Definitely recommend it. And then the next book I read was Bluebird Gold by Devony Perry. This one was released at the very end of last year. It was December 30th or something, the very end, and I have been waiting to read it. Like I said earlier, Devony is one of my favorite authors. I will literally read anything she writes at this point. And this one was pretty good. It was murder mystery. No, not murder mystery. Well, kind of murder mystery. But mystery in, I think set in the 80s. This teacher moves to a small town to try to, like, her dad recently passed away, but they were, like, estranged, and she just goes to his house to, like, pack up all of his things, sell his house and everything. And while she's there, she gets a job as a teacher at the school and in Montana, and things just go from there. There's a mystery. She ends up falling in love with the local sheriff. That might have been a spoiler, I'm sorry. It was good. I really enjoyed it. I'm excited for the next one. I wish it had a little bit more of a mystery to it. Like, there was a little bit of mystery, but, like, she finds out, like, her dad tells her, and you find this out in, like, the prologue, or, like, the back of the book. The book's literally called Bluebird Gold. Her dad tells her about this, like, missing gold, and so, like, she gets intrigued by that, and then I just found, like, that part of it, the whole thing of the missing gold, to be a little lackluster. Like, I wanted more from the mystery of the missing gold. The murder mystery part was good. It was good. But, I don't know, I just wanted something more from the missing gold. And the romance was so good. That Jacy, that man, chef's kiss. I rated it 4.5 stars as well. I really liked it. I'm excited for the next one. Who knows when it'll be out? I haven't, as far as I know, she hasn't announced anything about it yet. But I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see where the story goes, like what characters will follow next. If they're going to be like characters we've already met or different characters. I don't know. I'm excited for it though. And then the very last book that I read was Direbound by Sable Sorensen. Oh my god. This book has been so popular since it came out, and y'all, it is for good reason. This book was so good. I gave it a 4.6 stars. It was so good. It took me like 2 weeks to read it, but that was just because I started it like literally right before I had surgery, and so like surgery took me out for like 5 days to a week, and so like I wasn't really reading. That's the only reason it took me 2 weeks. This book was so good. Once I started it, I couldn't, like, once I got into it and, you know, wasn't dying, I flew through it. I devoured it. It was so freaking good. It's about this girl. She lives in, it's fantasy, so it's set in like a different kind of world, and it's about this girl. She lives in poverty with her mom. Her mom's sick. Her sister's like, I think she's like 11 or 12, something like that. Well, there's this beings, what they think is beings at the time. Anyways, these beings that are like capturing, or I guess fae. I think they're fae. These fae that are like capturing children from like the poor neighborhoods. And her sister eventually ends up getting kidnapped. You can find this all in the back of the book, by the way. Her sister eventually ends up getting kidnapped, and so she's like, I'm gonna join the war to get into the castle. There's these giant dire wolves that people go like through trials to try to like bond with, and like you eventually get sent to like the war if you like make it through the trials and like bond with the wolf. And so she's like, I'm gonna join the army and I'm gonna try not to bond to a wolf, but whatever, I just want to get to the front lines to see if I can find my sister. Well, against her will, she ends up bonding to a dire wolf, and so she has to go to the castle to go through the trials to see if she can become a bonded, and she ends up making it through the trials, and like, it's just crazy. The trials were wild. The dire wolf bonding was so cool. And there's like a romance, and like you will be totally deceived by what happens. I was flabbergasted. This book was just so good. Please read it. I've heard it explained as like Fourth Wing with wolves. Personally, I didn't love Fourth Wing. this was much better. Definitely read it. The next book comes out soon, I think like in a month or two. And I will be reading it when it comes out. This shit was so good. So yeah, that is all the books I read this month. My favorites were 100% Shield the Sparrows and Direbound. Read those, please. Read both of them right now if you haven't, because they were both fabulous, and I am gnawing at the bars of my enclosure for the next books. I cannot wait for them. I will be reading them when they come out, and I'm excited. But yeah, those are the 4 books I read in February. Hopefully, we will do better in March. I mean, I do have a vacation for a weekend planned where I'll be going out of town, but it's like an 8-hour drive, so I should get reading done within. But even that, it's only one weekend out of like, the 4 in the month. As long as I don't, die again, I think we'll be good. Hopefully we get a lot of reading done. I am currently reading City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. It's book 1 in the Mortal Instruments series, and like the big Shadowhunters universe. There's like 20 some odd plus still going books in this series. Like, the series is still going, and this is the first book I don't know how to explain it. I'm liking it, but I'm not. So we'll see how it ends, see if I continue, but this is what I'm currently reading. I'm a little over halfway, so hopefully I would like to finish it tonight, but where I have a bunch of editing to do, it probably sadly won't get done. But we're gonna try. But yeah, so hopefully everybody had a great February reading month. I had an okay one. I didn't read a ton of books, but I found 2 favorites. So I guess we'll take what we can get. But that's all I got. Love you, bye.